Hello and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. I ended up redoing Sunny's old 20-gallon tall tank, and I thought it would be really cool to try to set it up into a betta community tank since I haven't had those in a while. Now this tank will probably have a bunch of different tetras as well as the brand new betta that I'm going to show you in a little bit. And when I introduce all these fish together, it's going to be a slow process. What I like to do is put my betta in a floating breeding container so that he can acclimate to everybody separately and let the fish separately acclimate to him as well before they are kind of combined together in their tank. I'm also going to put a little barrier so that he won't see all the little ladies in the tank next door, and I think that will work pretty well. Now this tank, even though it has a hang-on back filter, it has really low flow because I've been growing moss on my filter, and growing moss on your filter is a really great natural way to slow down and buffer the flow. As you can see, there's like very little, if not any, water movement. All the floating plants are kind of hanging out, and all my little fish are photobombing me right here, but that's okay. And on the other hand, it's also pretty useful because the moss is just another form of filtration, another place for beneficial bacteria to kind of settle on. And here is a little pan of the tank. I think it came out kind of cool. I expect this tank to kind of change a lot and evolve over time. If you are interested in a further explanation of how I introduce all my fish in a community tank, I can definitely make a video about that. Let me know in the comments down below. So without further ado, here is the very gorgeous male that I got from my friend Ben from MB Betta's Aquatics. He is a beautiful Tiger Nemo Koi placat giant. That's a lot of words, a lot of these names usually refer to the current color pattern. So when it comes to Nemo as well as a tiger, this just means that he has these almost tiger stripes pattern, but he is still a marble betta. So regardless of what names you see, like Galaxy Koi, Nemo, Candy Koi, they're all marbles. So they will all probably change colors, and they all probably won't breed true, so they'll probably produce other random pattern marbles. But the names are just there to kind of help identify the current pattern, so you can better describe the type of fish that you're talking about. So even though the name is really fancy, in the end he is just a marble. He's just a marble placat. That's kind of it. The name though, it does make it sound kind of fancier, and as you can see, his stripes, they're so pretty right here in the light. He is a really pretty boy, and he is a giant betta, so of course he's very large, much larger than your average normal betta, and that's kind of okay. I do want to mention that this cup that I have him in is just for the sake of filming. So I just put him in here because I thought it would be kind of a lot easier to see his pattern. I also wanted to show it in natural light versus artificial lighting. And then here I changed it to a beanie, which is another container I use for photographing bettas. This is just so we can take a better look at him and really appreciate this awesome pattern before it changes. It'll probably change potentially, or maybe if we get lucky, he will kind of stay like this for a longer time. But my assumption is he will probably get full red, and then maybe potentially in the future might turn full black. We'll see. So here I added him into the floating container so he can kind of acclimate. He's never been in a big tank before, so I don't want to overwhelm him. So this will be a nice small space that he can kind of observe all the other fish. The other fish in turn can't bother him, and he also cannot, get overwhelmed with too much of a space. Another thing that's good is it'll be a lot easier to feed him. Sometimes it's hard to feed bettas in a community tank setup because they're little piggies and they will eat everything, so this will be good for him to kind of be in here for a while at least. One thing you'll also notice is one of his gills protrudes more than the other, and this is because when I got him at Aquashella this year, he was flaring and a lot of other fish for a few days, and this is kind of what happens when fish over flare. Sometimes their gills will kind of bend back, and this is a reason why I actually didn't flare him in any of the earlier shots, and also why I will be blocking the females so he won't be able to see them. This will just give him a break, and we'll kind of let his gills hopefully maybe go back to how they used to be. In this case, it's one of those examples of what happens when you over flare. Sometimes their gills will kind of bend, or they'll get stuck in an almost open position. Luckily his is not really stuck, it's just bent a little bit, but he's not really too much bothered by it. Now, of course, the other fish are really curious. Here is an endler that is checking him out. This is another reason why I like using little breeder boxes, because other fish can't really be curious, peck, check him out, which can sometimes kind of irritate or stress the betta out. Here he has some quiet time, no one's gonna bother him. He's not gonna get overstimulated, and he will be able to slowly adjust to community tank life at his own pace. Another thing I really like is his little eyes, because on one side he's got this kind of half blue, half black eye, and then the other side he kind of looks like he looks sad. He looks kind of mopey all the time from his other side. So his tiger side is the mopey side, and then this is the not mopey side. I would definitely love to give him a name, but I couldn't really think of anything really good. So if you have any name suggestions, definitely leave them down in the comments below, and then it'll help me figure out what should be the name of our new little fishy friend. So thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.